Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Black Sporadic. I am Kaz, your host, and today we have a special guest here to talk about fashion, black men in fashion, self expression. How do we find what our style is, who we are through our style, and how we can elevate and kind of make a name for ourselves through the clothes that we wear. So, my special guest today is from South Jersey. I actually met him at a photo shoot in Philly when I was with Immortal Vision Studio. Super great. We did a beautiful college edition together, and he's amazing. I love what he does. He's very into thrifting, and I just can't wait to, dive into this conversation with him today and talk. So, today, our special guest is Josh, and I'm going to let him introduce himself, and we can go get it started.
My name is Josh Aki. I'm a Nigerian, I guess you can say creative, based in South Jersey. I am 24 years old. So I've been doing kind of like content in the fashion thing since 2023. I started in college. So like I've always been like a sneakerhead and always into like sneakers and fashion, but I didn't have the bread for it, to keep it real with you. So it was so bad because growing up in a Nigerian household, like my dad had me wearing Fila's and Walmart shoes, and it wasn't gonna get better than that.
No, yeah, I completely understand.
Yeah, like it humbles you. So I'm growing up and all of my friends are wearing like Jordans and some people wearing Gucci and polo sweatshirts in high school.
It's crazy.
Yeah, right. So as soon as I got a little bit of my own money, I went crazy. Like I was like I have to have everything. I went to Rowan University. I studied finance there and met a lot of cool people. That's where I kind of started doing like my creative ventures because I met some dope people there. So especially Gabe, shout out to Gabe, definitely got me into modeling because he was a photographer. Met a lot of dope people. Started doing photo shoots, creative direction. Started modeling, and I started like kind of making content and being like consistent on Instagram.
Yeah.
I think that's like the start of how I got into it. So it's been
Wow,
fun.
that's super cool. Okay, okay, okay. So my first question is, what does fashion mean to you personally?
To Josh Aki, fashion is just an expression of confidence. That's simply it. I don't have like a deep mythology behind it. I simply just like clothes. I like looking good. I like feeling good. And honestly, like if you're wearing the right outfit, like it can make or break a conversation. It can make or break like opportunities. Like as I'm getting older, like you know what I mean, I'm almost unk age now. So I'm so serious. Like I'm old now. So like if I'm stepping out, I can't be looking crazy because I never know like who could be the next influencer I can tap in with or the next media director that can open the outlet for me. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like if I put my best foot forward and like show my best self every day through my clothes and like, my appearance and my character, it's going to pay off.
Was that something that was that like a mentality you grew up with, or was that something like you kind of figured out like for yourself?
I think it's a little bit of both. Again, growing up with Nigerian parents, we
Y'all
were
be
always,
popping out.
yeah, yeah, for sure. It's we know they carry less, but now they just imbued in me like to always kind of give my best impression, to like show respect to myself and to my family whenever I step out. So I kind of take that with me to show respect to myself and to always bring my best effort, even though like at the end of the day it's just clothes, like it's just me putting a fit on or it's just me like taking photos or whatever. Like it can add up and it could make or break a situation that could have me making hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars from a deal or
Mm-hmm.
whatnot.
Yeah. So can you share like how like you got into you shared a little bit about it in the beginning, but like can you go a little bit deeper into how you figured out your personal style and like what did you go for first? Like what was your like did you go for basics? Like did you go flashy like graphics? Like what was that process like?
Yeah, so I think I was like a sponge. So I kind of grabbed a little bit of everyone around me. I know my
Mm,
brother always had a whole bunch of jerseys and snapbacks in his closet when we lived together, and I would always kind of wear them when he wasn't around. I don't think he knows that. So a little bit of that. That's why I have that many hats in the background.
yes,
I
I
have
see.
friends. Yeah, it's pretty dope. I got friends who like kind of already started that before me, so like I see them doing their thing, and I'm like, okay, I like that fit. I like how those pants fit. I like that color on like brown skin. So I kind of like took a little bit of everything and started making it my own. And
Mm,
I think before, when you're younger, you don't really know yourself, so it's kind of like I'm gonna be real. Like I was dressing like other people until I
same.
figured out like, what I like. Yeah, to keep it real, like I didn't know what I liked or like what was me, so I just dressed as what other people would consider cool. But now it's kind of like I'm gonna do what I do. A good example: I used to always want to wear a do rag under a hat, I don't know why. I don't know why, but I always thought it was so dope because that was like a thing back in the 90s or 2000s, and
Yeah.
everybody made fun of me for it. Now I do it all the time, and I see it trending a little bit now on the socials. So,
Yes, it definitely has become like a bigger thing like over the years.
right?
For me personally, like I don't know, like I relate to you. When I was younger, I was definitely dressing like other people.
Yeah.
I feel like the best way to like kind of explore your personal style is just to be like exposure, like just to
Hmm.
be exposed to like different things, to be in different environments around different people. I went to, well, Boston's pretty diverse. So I had like a lot of different like
You from
cultures
Boston?
and stuff like that here. So I went to high school with like so many different people. So I was kind of able to see like how everyone dressed. It was very
Hmm.
interesting to say the least. But I feel like I faced a lot of like pushback for like how I dressed. I feel like, well, no, during that time, Janelle Monae was really hot. So I was really all into like that type of fashion, like the hats, the
Yeah,
loafers, things like that.
yeah.
Also like my mom's style. Me and her kind of like were at one point like kind of like had like similar styles. We were kind of like dressing the same. Just like family members who were like really bold with like their expressions. So I feel like it's honestly all about like who you're around when you're like trying to figure out what your style is and what you like and seeing like what works on other people.
Yeah, I agree. It's the culture
Yeah.
around you.
Yeah, it's very much the culture. So what are some of the misconceptions people have about black men in fashion?
Misconceptions about black men in fashion. That's a good question. That's a really good question. I think one that comes to the top of my head is kind of like not drawing the line, but like the boundaries between a masculine outfit and a feminine outfit.
Yes, talk about that.
Someone that comes to the top of my mind is Wisdom K or Kai. I don't know how to say his name correctly, but I think it's Wisdom. He's known for putting on crazy outfits, right? A lot of concepts. And he wears a lot of dresses, a lot of skirts, and a lot of like heels. And that's not something you can normally see in the black community. Like, I'm gonna be
Yeah.
real. I've seen that in my neighborhood. Like, the people in my area wouldn't exactly like accept that too kindly. And it's kind of like, when are we gonna start allowing like black men to express themselves, but still kind of respect their masculinity at the same time? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Do you
like
feel
when it,
like that has to be like an individual thing, or is that something like you find like externally? Like, does the man himself need to feel comfortable in his masculinity, or do like other people need to just start accepting that, like, I'm a man and I want to dress like this, and like that's that?
I think it has to be within the person, because like I just said, Wisdom K does it, and he doesn't care what anybody says, and he's a multi-millionaire making
Yeah.
money. He has hate comments, so like at the end of the day, stereotypes are going to be there, opinions are going to be there. No matter what you do, you can't change other people's opinions. All you can do is change your reaction. So like for me personally, something I want to get into is wearing like kind of like styling bags. Like
Mm,
like a man purse. You feel me? Like I really want to get into
yes.
that because I gotta start dressing a little bit more professionally, and I think that'll be a great way to add like a piece to my wardrobe. So that's something
Yes.
I want to get into.
There's this guy from Lincoln. I know him personally. Amazing fashion
Mhm.
designer, all that. And his name is Devon Cooley. Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. I will definitely show you his Instagram. He literally has exactly what you're talking about. He always has a bag with him, a man part, like
That's
just
fine.
some type of like something in his fashion goes crazy.
That's
So
fine.
definitely will show you that because I think it's so nice. And I also like to see like both men and women kind of like play around with like masculinity and femininity and
Hmm.
going back and forth. Like me personally, like a couple years ago, I think I don't know what was it. I think guys started wearing like crop tops or something like that. And low key, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is so like it's just so
Hmm.
cute. It depends, like no, it depends on the environment, like what we're doing, where we're at, type of thing. But I just love that idea of like men showing like their torso area. I just love that. I'm like, this is so cute, so on brand. And
Hmm.
I feel like a lot of people were looking at me like, girl, that is not cute. Or like they had so many things to say.
Yeah,
But I just thought it was such like fashionably, like I was like, ooh, like that's a look for real. That's really a
different.
look.
Yeah, it's different.
Yes. So what advice would you give to black men who want to experiment with both their masculine and feminine side in like the fashion world but are like hesitant?
What advice would I give? Kind of like a two-piece. I guess the first part would be like just know yourself. Like
Mm,
if you know why you want to do it, like you love fashion truly, you want to start exploring and you're curious, stand ground on that. You feel me? Like stay solidified
yeah.
because you're gonna know you're gonna come across hate, you're gonna come across other opinions. But if you're staying true to like your why and why you want to do it, other opinions won't matter. And
Mm.
sorry, that's my air freshener.
That's okay. What is your why, if you don't mind me asking? Like, why do you do what you do, like, in terms of like fashion?
My why, I genuinely just stopped caring what other people think. Like, I'm so serious because, like, in a weird way, when you stop caring about opinions, people gravitate to you more, and it's so weird.
Mm,
Like, I used to always like before I go out, I put on a fit, I would ask for opinions, like, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? And I already have like my idea in my head, like I like this outfit, but if they say they don't like the top, I'm gonna change it, right? And then I go out
yes.
and I'm not feeling how I really want to feel. So I'm like, I'm gonna just start wearing what I want to wear, right? And of course, I would get feedback. Josh, that's a little different. Josh, that's a little weird.
Yeah.
But I would keep doing it because that's me, and that's how I build my own like style. That's literally how you build your own style. If you dress like
Yes.
anybody else or everyone else, you wouldn't be unique.
Yeah, and I also feel like that goes hand in hand with like just having confidence, enough
Yeah,
confidence to like put something on and like feel secure in that where you don't have to ask for outside opinions. I think that's like really
mhm,
big, especially for like men. I feel like a lot of times like, we see celebrities, same thing like women. It's like a lot of times we see how like the praise and the accolades that other people get based on how they look. So we
mhm.
feel like okay, if I dress that same type of way, then I'm gonna get that same type of attention. And it's like, no, like you really
I
have to
like
be authentic
that.
and true to yourself and really be confident in like what you put on every day. Like it doesn't matter what someone else says really about what you're wearing. It's all about what you feel comfortable with. And I feel like that's a lot of times, like even it like the Met Gala. I would love to hear your
Yeah,
opinion on the looks. But the Met Gala, like I hate when like just from like looking at like a stylist point of view, like I hate seeing people wearing pieces or outfits or anything that they just don't feel comfortable in. Like, and you can tell when someone is not
yeah,
comfortable in what they've
yeah,
been styled in, and you could just tell, like, just in how they pose, just everything about it. You could tell when someone really feels like, yeah, like I'm really that nigga, like I'm swaggy for real, like.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like
You gotta wear it.
it's so noticeable. So I would love to hear your opinion on like the Met Gala. Like, what did you think of like the entire like everything?
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I haven't even dug into it like how I wanted to. Like
Oh my
I've
gosh.
been so busy. I've been so busy. But I do know what my favorite look was.
Okay, tell me.
I looked briefly through all of them, and I don't remember his name, but it was a man wearing a piano on his
Andre
back.
3000?
That was insane.
He chewed. He chewed.
Yo, what? What?
He really
That
chewed.
really became his music. Like that.
Yes, it was his album cover too. I'm like, oh yeah,
Yo,
he was
yeah,
really
yeah,
thinking
yeah.
outside the box. Like he was really thinking outside the box.
I love outfits. That's like, in a way. And
Yeah.
you ask so many questions. Like, I'm thinking, like, is it heavy? Like, how is he
Yeah.
holding it up? Like, I got so many questions, but that stood out to me the most. That was very dope, very dope. But
Yes.
what I saw, I like most of the outfits. They were pretty valid,
What did you
but
think of the theme? Did you like the theme or no?
it was cool. I
It was
think,
a. I feel like it was, if they were gonna go with dandyism, it needed. I'm so sorry, not to be racist or anything, but it should have just been all black people. White
hmm
people missed the mark
hmm
completely. Like they were not getting what like they made up their own version, and it's like, bro, they literally put out everything that you could possibly imagine on what dandyism is, and you
hmm
did the complete opposite.
yeah, yeah. No, I agree. I agree. I didn't want to say it, but
It was terrible. But what trends or movements in black men's fashion are like exciting you the most right now?
preppy boy, yo, man. When I tell you, I'm about to order like 10 ties like this week
Okay,
because I've
what
always
about it
been like,
though?
what's up?
What about it though? Like what about Preppy Boys? Like I love it.
I think I love it because we're literally killing a certain stereotype. Like black men always sagging, black men not being professional, black men not having a sort of respect for themselves when it comes to like putting themselves together and being appropriate for the occasion.
Yeah.
And now you're gonna see a whole bunch of us pulling up in ties and a whole bunch of fly shit. And then like we're still fly, but we're still having our own profession. Not profession, but like still like showing up to the scene professional. Like I don't know. That's
Yeah.
very dope to me. Like I'm excited to like kind of see a lot more like black men wearing like collars, ties, learning how to tie a tie, like a lot of simple things that people don't know how to do, but it
Yeah.
shows like we're gonna prepare ourselves for like the future in a sense. I like it. I like it a
Yeah.
lot.
One of my favorite trends right now for men that excites me is, like I said earlier, like just like seeing guys like push the boundaries of like what being masculine and what being feminine is. I
Mm,
think like just seeing, I don't know, like I'm really loving like even like shirts that show like the V cut part of like a man. Like I
yeah,
like just the way like guys are like carrying themselves now and like really showing up, especially in the fashion world. Like I think ASAP Rocky is like a
yo,
perfect
ASAP be
example of
killing it,
like
bro. ASAP be
he
killing,
is one of the
bro.
coolest guys you could ever meet for real. And he on top of that he has like a incredible fashion sense and like taste. So
Mm,
I think it's just interesting to see like how guys are like really getting involved in like the fashion world and stuff like that. And that also makes me think of another question because I see what Pharrell is doing now with Louis Vuitton. So, what brands or designers do you think are pushing the culture forward?
bring the culture forward.
And that could be any culture. It could be like black culture, whatever culture you want to like think of. It could be anything.
Pushing the culture forward. Because I had one designer in mind, but I wouldn't say he's exactly pushing the culture, but he's
Who is it?
pushing Cody Phillips.
Mm.
Because I don't know if you've ever seen his pieces, but none of his pieces make sense, and I love it. He has the most dramatic shapes and textures when it comes to clothes that you never know like what his next drop is going to kind of entail.
Mm.
But I love it because like it's kind of becoming his thing where like he creates clothes that when you wear them, like if I see someone wearing like a pair of his pants on the street, you gotta know it's Cody Phillips because it's so out the box when it comes to it. Like he'll have cargo pants with literally 100 pockets, or he'll have like an oversized jacket that's like I don't even know how to explain it. I don't even know how to explain it, but I just love everything about his collections. Only thing is the prices are going up just because people are starting to understand him
Yeah.
quality. No, I got respect for him and his collections and what he's been putting out.
Yeah. If you had your own like brand, like what would you do to kind of like push the culture forward?
I thought about this so much. Like I really be thinking about it. Like, what would I do if I had a clothing brand? Like, how would I be different?
Mm.
Still thinking about it, honestly.
That's a
I
real
do know.
answer though.
Yeah, like I really don't know because it's such a saturated market, but there's
Yeah.
still some potential to kind of do you. So I
There's a
know
lot of room to grow as well.
yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. So like the entryway is going to be, it can either be hard or easy. If you know what you're doing and you have the right people and you have the right connections, it's easy to get in, right? But when it comes to maintaining yourself and actually like elevating and making a name for yourself, that's when it's like, all right, what can I do to be different? What's going to stop someone from buying another brand shirt to buy my shirt? You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, yeah. I get that. Going back to your point when you were talking about the designer and how like the prices are kind of like raising because like more people are like, hearing about it and like getting in tune. How important is accessibility in fashion? Can style be high quality without it being like too expensive? Like
Yeah.
what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, yeah, I can. I grew up with a father that took me to the flea market every week. When they tell you like I'm not the type to blow, I wouldn't even blow 300 on a piece. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't spend more than 200 on sneakers. I actually don't spend a lot of money like per piece because like I truly don't believe that like at the end of the day they are clothes and they shouldn't be that expensive. I don't know. I just personally wouldn't have a clothing brand selling items for 300-400 a piece, knowing that there's people who probably can afford it. Like I was in their shoes a couple years ago
Yeah,
and they want it so bad and they can probably put it on and like cherish that item as if it was worth $1,000, but they can't because they don't have $1,000.
yeah,
Nah, it doesn't make sense to me. And I'm learning that it is partially because, brands and designers want their art to be like respected,
yeah. I was getting ready to say that
right?
it's a little bit of that, a little bit.
Monetary price is a form of respect and I respect that. But it's like at what point do we kind of like, all right, we're doing a little much. We're doing a little much. Like, what's the ceiling? You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah, I don't understand. Like, I wish I could talk to like more designers to kind of like figure it out. Like, what's the backstory of like why pieces cost as much as they
Yeah,
do? Like, I understand the time, the effort, like all that type of stuff. Manufacturers, I get that. Like part of it all. And on top of that, they have to make money back. So
Yeah.
we're thinking about that too. But sometimes when I see certain places, I'm like, do you guys understand what people are willing to do to get this piece?
Hmm.
Like people are willing to have their lights cut off or like be out
Yeah.
of something or not pay a bill just so that they can say like I'm cool because I have like, this specific piece. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy, honestly, and I feel like a lot of people don't realize that you can find the same type of gems like thrifting. I don't know, like, well, I know you're very big in
Yeah.
thrifting, so
Yeah.
you could talk a little bit about that and kind of like, tell people like what ways to like go in terms of like thrifting. But I feel like that's the best thing, especially if you can't afford like the expensive things right now. Thrifting is like a big go to. You can find so many hidden gems.
Yeah. That's literally why I thrift, because when I was in college, again, I didn't have the most money, but I love clothes so much. So the best thing to do was to thrift, even if it was secondhand items. So there was a Goodwill next to our college, and I was there like 2 to 3 times a week. I was there all the time. So I think it was last year, my senior year, and I decided to have like my thrifting convention. It's called Thrift a Lot. And
Ooh,
basically, yeah, yeah. So I got like a whole bunch of, I have a lot of friends that thrift also. So they all kind of like got together, and we kind of like just set up shop and had a whole bunch of people come to the student center and kind of shop around, and we created like a thrifting expo. So that was pretty dope because we kind of like
wow, that's dope.
yeah, yeah, that was really dope. And we kept in the South Jersey because usually this is always in like North Jersey or Philly, but I wanted to stay local for our target audience.
Wow, that's really dope. How did you feel about the turnout, or how was the turnout?
I was ecstatic. I was not. I was expecting like 10 people, and it was like over 100. I was like, "What is going on right now?" And everyone was asking me to do another one, so I did it again in November, and that was even more people.
Wow,
Yeah, yeah,
that's crazy. So are you
yeah.
gonna like continue doing them, or like what's that look like?
I think I want to continue doing it. My most recent one was last April, well, last
Mm,
month. But I think I want to kind of I want to see how I can venture out. Like I have a pretty steady base at rowing, so I'm gonna keep continue doing it at rowing. But now it's like, how can I kind of elevate to the next level? Like, how can I expand Thrift a Lot to be not just a thrifting convention, but more so like what I don't know. I'm still figuring it out, but
yeah, there's a
I'm
lot of
trying to
moving
see.
pieces to it.
Right, right. It's a lot that goes into it, but working on getting a team together to brainstorm and see how far we can take this.
Wow, that's really dope, and I'm wishing you a lot of like success with that.
Thank you so much.
Are there any style icons, past or present, who like inspire you or have inspired you?
Yeah, fashion icons. First one is Allen Iverson.
Mm,
Just his like his boldness, his not giving a f attitude, his unapologetic like kind of swag, and how he shaped the NBA. Because I was a huge NBA, I still am a huge NBA fan. Like I just stuck with me. I wrote an essay about him in high school just because how much I respected him. But
wow.
nah, that kind of like opened the gate to me to realize that I can make my own kind of style, and I don't got to like follow the social norms. Because if you do your own thing, people are going to follow you. If you
Mm,
go your own path and you're consistent and you're good at what you do, people are going to follow you.
for
So
sure.
I think Allen Iverson kind of like imbued that in my head.
Yes. So, with that being said, how do you balance personal style with societal expectations or cultural norms?
Great question. Great question. Because my African parents are still learning to accept how I dress.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like sometimes I walk out with like my do rag on or like super baggy jeans, and my dad is like, "My son is a gangster," and it's he jokes about it now, but before it was a little bit of an issue. But I think
Yes.
once I started showing them, like I showed them my page, I showed them that I do photography and that I actually like do stuff with what I wear, they kind of start to understand that this is my expression. And I think me graduating and showing them I'm not a failure. I got
Mom,
something going
I'm
on.
not a failure. I
Right,
promise.
right. I graduated. I graduated. I got a job. So now it's kind of like they accept it for what it is. And for society, repeat the question one more time.
How do you balance personal style with societal expectations or cultural norms?
Yeah. So I think I don't really have a problem with that right now,
Mm,
just because I've never had, well, as of recently, there hasn't really been much pushback on how I dress. Mainly because like I know how to dress for certain occasions. I can adapt. I guess the main pushback would be my job. I currently work in a corporate retail office, but I
mm,
work hybrid. I work once a week, so that one day a week I'll kind of tone it down and I'll wear, within the
yeah.
company boundaries. The other 6 days out the week I'll go crazy.
feel that, to be honest. It's hard working like corporate, and that's a conversation for another day. But
Mhm.
being like a fashionable person and like working in corporate
Yo,
and having
it's
to like tone it
terrible.
down.
I'll be in the office like they have no idea what I'm capable of.
They look like
I
they
got
just
so
don't
much to
get
tell.
it. Like they just don't get it. And it's like you can play around with it a little bit, but
A
like
little bit, a
you
little bit,
can't
a
go
little bit.
too crazy. So I'm gonna ask my last two questions and then we can close out. But where do you see Black men's fashion evolving in the next 5 to 10 years?
Next 5 to 10 years? That's a great question. So I know everything. There's a saying that like everything has happened before everything comes and goes.
Mm,
So how we kind of shifted, I think of pants, how we shifted from super baggy pants in like the 90s and 2000s to kind of like skinny jeans and joggers. Now we're
yeah.
back to super baggy pants. I think we're gonna transition to more of like a kind of like a seamless boxy type of fit. So like
Ooh.
imagine like straight cut jeans with the pleat right at the top of your shoe, right? So it's not baggy, but it's right at the top,
Mm,
showing your socks, but it's still a little bit of width to it, right? And again with the preppy boy style, like a little bit more of that, and that being a little bit more of a norm, especially in the younger kids, because I know I seen like my younger cousins, they still dressing like YNs in high school. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I think because kids follow like the older crowd, so once the older crowd
yeah.
starts doing a little bit more preppy clothes, the kids are going to follow, and I think that's going to be a little bit more. I think we're going to follow Japanese culture a little bit.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, that's what
their culture
they be putting it
is
on. They be putting it.
they eat bad. Like they
Yeah,
eat so bad. I love their culture. I want to visit. I can't wait to like just see like what it's like over there, like actually in person.
yeah.
It's a whole like it's a whole completely different world.
Yeah, I got so much respect for Japanese culture. They're carrying.
Like they're really taking it.
Hmm.
Last question. What's one piece of fashion advice you would give to your younger self?
One piece of fashion advice to give to my younger self. You don't need money to dress how you want to dress.
Mm.
You just need the right resources. Yeah,
That's something right there. That
yeah,
is really something. I like that.
for
Well,
sure.
thank you so much for coming and
Of
for
course.
talking with me. I feel like time flew by. Like we was just
Yo, this was
chatting.
the fastest 30 minutes of my life. Yeah.
No, seriously, it did not feel like it was like 30 minutes, but thank you so much for coming and I hope we
Of
can
course.
do this again.
Of course.
All right, y'all. What's up? It's a wrap. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening. I'm so grateful to Josh for being here today and just for dropping some gems and talking to us about fashion and like self expression through fashion. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see what he does next. And we're definitely going to stay in contact. And I hope you guys follow him on all his socials and see what he has coming up next. Stay tuned. And thank you guys so much again for listening and stay tuned for our next episode. Bye, y'all.